What's up, guys? This is mikelorus with game number 1 from the TI3 Western Qualifiers. And, well, fortune smiles upon me because I know these teams and I know how they play and what they actually like to do. So, Rox.Kis is going to be on the Radiant, Absolute Legends on the Dire. This is the first game to be played in the TI3 Qualifiers, and this is going to be a best of 3. So Rox.Kis is going to open up their picks with the Gyrocopter Lifestealer as well as a Shadow Demon, already going very, very damage heavy right off the bat. So they will have a potential for Gyrocopter support. I know that Gyrocopter has been run as such on the Rox.Kis team before. And with the Shadow Demon and Lifestealer, that means that you have a pretty solid tri-lane setup. I mean, there's a lot of damage just with Gyrocopter and Shadow Demon by themselves. You could even conceivably run a dual lane with those two heroes. But throw in a Lifestealer on top of that, and you have the Gyrocopter play a very Rocket Barrage heavy kind of supporty game, and you have a very devastating kill lane. Absolute Legends, though, they seem to know that that's coming, and in response to that, they're going to pick up a Weaver. It's a very good survivable pickup if they want to defend against that tri-lane. If you get disrupted, you just spam the Shikuchi button, and then hopefully your Rocket Barrage, you don't take too many Rocket Barrage hits, and really you shouldn't take that many. And the tri-lane of Gyro, Lifestealer, Shadow Demon, if it is, of course, a tri-lane, Gyro can go into a mid position as well. Then the Weaver will be able to survive pretty much every single time because the tri-lane from Rox.Kis is they have no stuns. They have the missile, which is pretty much it. They're going to need some other stuns if they're actually going to make that happen. And well, I really don't think that that's what they're aiming to do. That is, of course, if they are going to run Rox.Kis, that is, if they're going to run the 3 heroes that they have right now in a tri-lane. They can split them up, put the Lifestealer, solo, safe lane, Gyrocopter, Shadow Demon, and then something like Alina, put them on the aggressive tri-lane and get us mid-hero. Either way, Rox.Kis will have a lot of potential moving forward in their laning phase. Absolute Legends, well, they're going to smell that coming and ban out Alina. Darkseer as well as the Nature's Prophet and Weaver. So Absolute Legends right now, what they have is a ton of lane versatility. Darkseer, Nature's Prophet, both can go pretty much anywhere. We've seen them go anywhere and everywhere, actually. We've seen Darkseer's mid, we've seen Darkseer starting off in the jungle. Exact same thing for Nature's Prophet. They really could go wherever they want, whenever they want. Weaver, we've seen him solo up lanes, kind of like a Clinks with an aggressive tri-lane on the other end, but with Absolute Legends lineup right now, I gotta say that it's probably going to be a Nature's Prophet mid. It could be a Darkseer mid, but just the amount of times you've seen Nature's Prophet mid is a lot higher than you would see a Darkseer mid. But Rox.Kis is still going to ban that TA just in case. Absolute Legends do have a good amount of support potential. Nature's Prophet as well as Darkseer with the Surge, teleportation support, and their mobility is like overall extremely high for Absolute Legends. Having that Weaver as a primary damage dealer means that he will be very hard to lock down unless Rox.Kis pick up something with a silence, pick up something with a stun, and something like a Puck wouldn't be too bad, or Leshrac would also do pretty well. Absolute Legends banned out the Lina, so when you can't take Lina, you just go for Leshrac, Split Earth, and LSA. Pretty much the same spell whenever they're interacting with the Shadow Demon. So Absolute Legends going to have to deal with that, and they're going to pick up a Sand King. Now, this is a very Absolute Legends thing to do. They do favor the Sand King more so than other Western teams. We'll see them pick it up rather frequently. And they will get a guaranteed stun out of that, but you know, AL still don't really have that much damage. Darkseer doesn't really have that much damage. Sand King, very, very burst magical damage, but you probably won't be able to get a good epicenter, a burst strike epicenter off. With a Shadow Demon with a Leshrac on the other end and with a Lifestealer with the Rage, it's going to be very hard to be effective until he gets a Blink Dagger. And I believe it is Rise who plays the Sand King. I could be wrong about that, but he will probably not get a Blink Dagger anytime soon, just because Sand Kings usually are more on the sidelines. It's hard to poke and get kills unless you're set up by someone else. And really, who's going to set up for a Sand King? I guess you could have Nature's Prophet teleport in, or possibly Surge in the Sand King, which could work. But he is probably not going to get a whole lot of gold. His CS is going to be limited to what he finds from the jungle pulls, and yeah, he's going to really have to wait until he gets those levels up from those pulls before he can be super aggressive, and even then, he's going to be up against Rage, he's going to be up against a Puck phase shift, as well as a Shadow Demon disruption. Sand King is not really great versus those
10
heroes.
seconds remaining.
Unless you could of course land them all on the Burrow Strike, in which case he's great against any hero
5
possible. But
seconds remaining.
yeah, just with that amount of defensive capabilities from Rox.Kis, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Sand King. And Puck for Rox.Kis is going to be their final pick, so they're going to have that solid solo mid hero. And it looks like it is going to be a Gyrocopter tri-lane, I believe, and Lifestealer soloing a lane, or it could be the other way around. But either way, they do get a silence from the Puck as well as that Dream Coil in hopes to kind of control the Weaver a little bit more. Adding Leshrac to that will mean that the Weaver is now in a little bit of danger in this game, as opposed to being completely free to do whatever the hell he wants by having just Shadow Demon, Lifestealer, and Gyrocopter with no stuns. Absolute Legends for their final pickup. What is it going to be? I think they might want to look towards a hard carry. Their lanes are extremely wonky, though. I mean, Nature's Prophet, Darkseer usually go into the same place. They usually go into the hard lane. If they can't do that successfully, then they go into the jungle. But look, it's going to be a Skywrath Mage. Very interesting there. So, Skywrath Mage as a mid-hero versus Puck. The Sigil of Silence is really going... Ancient Seal. What is Sigil of Silence? Is that even a thing? I don't even think that's a thing. I'm thinking of a different game completely. Sigil... No, it's like Frozen Sigil from Tusk. I don't know what went through my head, but Ancient Seal. Please tell me if you know what the other thing is, because I have no idea what it is. Ancient Seal is going to be the key spell, really, for the Skywrath Mage in order to go toe-to-toe with that Puck. That is, of course, if he's going to go to the mid lane, which it is going to be Ryze playing the Skywrath, and he's buying the Courier. It's not going to be a solo mid Skywrath. It's going to be a pure support, yeah, buying the Courier, buying the wards. And, well, still, you do have the Ancient Seal being a very key spell, but just having that Arcane Bolt in order to poke down the enemy side will mean that AL have a little bit of a good amount of damage, actually, in their lane, but still the problem stands. With the tri-lane of the Weaver, the Skywrath Mage, as well as the Sand King, despite the fact that Sand King has some pretty cool cosmetics, they're not going to have any way of actually getting Miracle close enough to the enemy side so that he could actually do the damage. Actually land a Burrow Strike. I'm just going to pause it for 1 second, guys. Alright, and we're back in. Okay, so yeah, they still don't have any way for the Sand King to actually close the gap and land a Burrow Strike, especially against this, well, 5 people on Rox.Kis side. They're going to run straight into Unicorn. No chance for them to really get a kill unless Vangscore gets a Miracle Disruption, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll watch this for a little bit. I don't think anything's going to happen on this top lane, unless they want to dive a tower. Would be really aggressive as hell, a great way to start TI3 qualifiers, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's go over who's playing what first before we get into anything further. Yol is going to be playing Leshrac on the Rox.Kis side, Dread on that Lifestealer, Vangscore supporting as a Shadow Demon solo, Puck heading towards the mid lane, and we have Biz is perfect going towards the bot lane as the Gyrocopter, where he's going to be facing up against Mania's Darkseer. Mid lane going to be Miggle as the Nature Prophet, so it is going to be mid Nature Prophet. Ryze, as I said before, Skywrath Mage, Unicorn, the hard carry from AL is going to be playing the Weaver on the top lane, supported by additionally supported by Miracle's Sand King. So AL, their lane, unless they get a concussive shot from Ryze, which he hasn't picked up at level 1, is going to mean that the Burrow Strike, which with range that's really kind of lackluster, like if you're a giant Scorpion guy, you'd expect to go a little bit further when you burrow underground, but level 1 Burrow Strike is a really, really bad spell, quite honestly. It is such pathetic range, and even though the stun duration is quite nice, you're rarely going to find an opportunity to land a stun, especially with no setup, no Shadow Demon, no Rubik on your end. There's no one to let you close that gap, so Unicorn probably going to be pressured a little bit. They only do have 1 stun, however. Do they have Sentry Wards? They do have Sentry Wards, the Rox.Kis side, so yeah, they will be able to see Unicorn, and I don't know if they'll have enough damage to kill him off within the duration of 1 Split Earth. Maybe if they have a Soul Catcher set up by Vangscore, and he is going to get level 2, or close to level 2, with this side pull that he is doing right now, then they will maybe be able to pick off Unicorn, but I'm not too sure if that's actually going to be enough. The Unicorn is pretty stacked on Ironwood branches, does have the ring of protection, so any right-click follow-up will mean that he won't be able to, will mean that it won't do too much damage. And Unicorn is going to jack a couple of these creeps as well, so make it a little bit more difficult for Vangscore to hit that level 2 mark, get that extra point in that additional damage from the Soul Catcher. In the meantime, in the bottom lane, we have Mania doing a lot of creep cutting. Unfortunately, took an unfortunate Centaur stomp right there. And Mania actually taking a good chunk of damage from Biz, forced to surge away. Actually, he might turn around and fight. Now, Biz is another Rocket Barrage. Probably would be suicide if he did choose to do that. Actually, Mania, he's not done. He still has the Ion Shells on the creep. Centaur might get him some kills with that Ion Shell, but it looks like Mania just mostly pressuring by presence alone. Meanwhile, on the top lane, there is a little bit of creep jacking, at least an attempt from creep jacking, done by Dread. He doesn't have any points in Feast, so his survivability still isn't that high. Level 1 Rage and a level 2 Lifestealer is probably not going to win a fight versus these AL heroes, just putting out so much damage from their low levels. However, they will actually now have a level 2 on Skywrath Mage, so we'll see if he gets that point in concussive shot. I think it would be a mistake to get anything else. Yes, the silence is extremely good. Amplifying magical damage with a Sand King on your team is an absolutely devastating combination to whoever is unlucky enough to receive that curse and be silent for that additional, 3 seconds at level 1. Then it's going to be a whole lot of pain, and when it gets leveled up as well, then they will have that extra epicenter damage coming through. It's actually going to be the Ancient Seal. Ancient Seal is a really good tool in dealing with the Lifestealer as well. If you could silence him before he pops off his rage, then you have a pretty good window of opportunity so you could actually kill the Lifestealer, whereas ordinarily he would just be able to rage and run or rage and TP or something like that. But still, the problem remains. Miracle is unable to close the gap, and with no concussive shot quite yet from the Skywrath, it looks like it is going to remain that way. Miggle teleporting down to the bottom lane where he is going to try to go for Biz. Courier is spotted by Mania, and well, I don't know if they could actually do this because Biz seems to be pretty tanky. Mania's taking a lot of the creep hits as well. Trian's taking the entirety of the Rocket Barrage, and here comes Vangscore coming into support. I feel like I'm zoomed in just a little bit, but I don't really know why. Mania on the run should be able to make it out despite Vangscore's teleportation support in. Why am I so zoomed in? My camera just got so very weird. I don't know what happened. Miggle has an Ion Shell on top of him, and he is going to die, trying to bring down Biz before he does go down, but him and Vangscore both going to survive at just slivers of HP. And on the top lane, meanwhile, Open Wounds going to slow Sand King's approach so they cannot continue their aggression onto Yul, who has received, I believe, just a lot of poking damage from Unicorn as well as the Skywrath Mage. And without Sand King's closing distance, once again, showing its real face right there, he cannot land a stun. I have no idea what happened to my... was it me? I was definitely very zoomed in. I was for sure zoomed in. I have no idea why. Dota, please, Valve fix. But anyway, Miggle rotating down to that bot lane very, very aggressively as well. I mean, Gyrocopter wasn't exactly in a weak position. Yes, he was very far away from any sort of towers, so it's not necessarily a tower dive. But at the same time, oh, Unicorn might die in this top lane. Yes, he is going to get beaten down. The Split Earth from Leshrac, level 2, doing enough damage for Dread to do the right-click damage. But, yeah, the rotation coming from Miggle, kind of surprising that he would actually decide to do that versus the Gyrocopter. I mean, Ion Shell does a lot of damage when it's level, well, it was level 2 then, but level 3 now. But with Gyrocopter all alone with creep support, I would not expect that kind of play from the Absolute Legends side. I mean, with the Nature Prophet mid, you kind of do want to be aggressive, you kind of do want to look for the kills wherever you can find them. But going this far in trying to find these kills, that is not what you want to be doing. You want to jump in just for the extra support, and now Miggle might be in a little trouble. Solo is going to cast this mini silence onto Miggle, and with the with the right-click damage with the double damage rune, that's going to be the death of the Nature's Prophet. In the meantime, Biz is also going to find a kill on the Darkseer on the bottom lane. That was a solo kill, just with a missile setup for a Rocket Barrage. That shouldn't have happened right there. I don't know what happened to the Darkseer, but he's definitely dead. Biz getting himself 2 kills on this bottom lane. And he could get a couple. Rocket Barrage is a great tool for dealing with Darkseer, who prefers being alone with those Ion Shells, and Biz isn't going to get the deny on that tower. But still, these kills are coming up from Rox.Kis that, quite frankly, shouldn't be happening. Even with a double damage puck, you kind of expect a kill on the Nature's Prophet. But the bottom lane, that really shouldn't be happening. Miracle now poking his face forward. He's going to get cursed. Dread silence as well. He has have a spell flying after him. Mania has joined the fight, but Dread could just pop the rage. Instead, going to go for the open wounds. They're going to change their minds and go for Yul. This should be a dead Leshrac. Just a couple more clicks. Hey, Miracle actually got a burrow strike off. Got close enough for that one with a surge from Mania. That is going to seal the deal on the Leshrac on the top lane, but AL bringing up Mania from the bottom lane means that Biz is going to have very, very easy time in that bottom lane. I mean, he already had an easy time. Mania wasn't able to stop him too much, even though he was cutting right past the creep wave. Biz with Flat Cannon can annihilate a creep wave very, very easily. Has his phase boots because of those 2 kills, and now he's going to push the tower. And Mania taking a long way down to this mid lane where he's going to try to look for solo, but I don't think they have enough to actually do this. Haste Rune on Nature Prophet not really going to help. If it was double damage, maybe they could bring down the puck. With 4 in the orb, with the bottle charge as well as a magic wand, should be very difficult to bring down solo unless they bring in their Sand King or the Skywrath Mage, or possibly both, like they're doing right now. Miracle and Rise looking for blood, but they're going to run straight into Vangscore, and yo, this is going to be a fight for Rox.Kis to win, unless they miss all their spells. Fog of War not really helping out Rox.Kis right there. In that engagement, I do believe it would be the Rox.Kis side that would have the edge, being able to get those additional illusions up from the Shadow Demon, making things a little bit more clustered, and then getting the curse onto someone for their split earth to land. That in itself should be a kill. Solo though, gonna get silenced by the Ancient Seal, gonna try to get his way out of there. Miggle gonna follow that orb, land the Sprout as well. Solo actually runs right into it. Another spell's gonna fly as the Dream Coil does latch Rise in. Vangscore gonna come in with the disruption as well. Curse is not gonna land on Rise. I don't believe it is going to land on Rise. He's gonna dodge the call down, but he is gonna run straight into the puck. That is gonna be his death. So AO losing one in their attempt at aggression on this puck. Once again, Skywrath, though, with only level 1 Ancient Seal that lasts for 3 seconds, and that's a good 3 seconds where you could really just go to town on the puck. But with not enough follow-up, these levels really aren't high enough to bring down a level 8 puck. I mean, a level 4, level 3 level 4 Skywrath, level 3 Sanking, you need a little bit more than that. Just for, like, through the raw base values alone, it's not going to cut it versus a puck who's getting this much in the mid lane. He's actually going to go for phase boost instead of the more usual treads that we see from the puck. I do like this choice. I feel like Puck is a hero that, although he is, if you think of Puck, you think of an intelligent spellcaster, he is very reliant on his right clicks once he actually drops his spell, just because his spells have a fairly long cooldown. I mean, 12 seconds, 16 seconds, you don't really want to wait that long and, just try to run with them that whole while. You kind of want to be hitting something, and he will need to hit something. Up, top lane, disruption onto Unicorn. Once again, Split Earth is going to land. Sentry Ward being dropped just in case. Don't even think that was necessary, but Shadow Demon going to find himself a kill on this top lane. AL really not off to a fantastic start. We do have a very slight experience and gold advantage for the Rox.Kis side. What's helping the AL side out a little bit is that they've taken down the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. It did get denied, however. So, Solo looking for Miracle. He could have gotten that kill. Would have been a little bit risky, but I think he could have sealed the deal. Instead, gonna let the Sand King walk. Better safe than dead is what I always say. Rox.Kis. So far, just with their rotations, Vangscore as well as Yul making it very effective, just buying space for Dread to farm fairly easily on this top lane. I mean, he is staying toe-to-toe with Unicorn, and just being melee versus range, that is, a very impressive feat from the Lifestealer. He doesn't have the most kills, but really, he doesn't really need that many. He's doing fine on this top lane by himself. And Biz at the same time is doing just as well, if not better, and he is doing better than the Lifesteal on the top lane. So Rox.Kis, their two heavy late game heroes, are both getting farm, and that is something that you rarely see. Just because if you go for an aggressive tri lane, you don't expect to get a whole lot of kills as well as a lot of farm, but hey, Lifestealer is actually making that happen. Not too high on the gold per minute chart, but he's definitely getting an adequate amount of farm, and with Biz right behind him to really pick up any slack or really lead the way if the Lifestealer doesn't get enough farm. Then Rox.Kis is going to be sitting at a very comfortable position as they move forward into the 10-minute mark in this game. AL with their early mid-game heroes, as we see Mania getting caught out. Split Earth just barely going to hit right on the tip. Mania going to get cursed up. Solo going to throw the orb. Bowled the Darkseer over. Darkseer a little bit in the middle of nowhere. Was warding, I think? No, was heading down towards the bottom lane. Can't really make anything happen down here, though. No mass teleportations on this top lane where Dread has been attempted. The seal has been used. Unicorn on the run should be fine from Vangscore. He's looking for a disruption onto anyone he can find. Shadow Poison going to be dodged by Rise, but that's going to mean that Vangscore is going to close the distance for that curse. Call down. Boom goes one missile. Rise dead in an instant. Dread is going to get cursed up, but he will be fine to just walk on out of there. No follow-up from that, and AL lose yet another hero. Man, these AL rotations, I'm not sure about the Sand King pick. I feel like he hasn't really done that much. If he can close the distance, yes, but really, if you're going to run a Sand King, you need a Shadow Demon, you need a Rubik, or a Bane, or something like that. So far, he hasn't really been doing all that much, and Skywrath, same kind of thing. I mean, he does do a lot of damage in a poking kind of lane, but in an explosive aggression lane, like the Lifestealer, Leshrac, Shadow Demon lane, that's not, poking isn't really going to get you very far, because if you poke your head a little bit too far out, you get disrupted, you get your earth split underneath you, and you will get your wounds open, and then you will probably be dead before the right clicks even begin. But yeah, these supports from AL so far, not really supporting enough. I mean, Unicorn still getting a decent amount of farm, but the gold per minute chart is being dominated by the Rox.Kis heroes, and you can see how confident they are, diving so aggressively to possibly look for a kill onto that Skywrath mage, but instead Dread just going to continue farming up. Biz has finished his drums as we noted before, He's going to continue farming this bottom lane. It's being pushed out rather aggressively by Mania. Really, it's just creeps going into the grinder that is a gyrocopter with the phase boots, with the maxed out flat cannon. These creeps not going to last too long. It's going to be wave after wave of experience, and Vangscore is going to start off with stacking these Ancients. Going to be a very, very huge benefit for them as the gyrocopter starts to pick up a little bit of damage. Actually going to go for Blade of Alacrity, so possibly going to go look for the Manta. No Shadow Blade or anything like that. Could just be a Yasha. I don't think it's good. Am I zoomed in again? I feel like I definitely am. Yeah, what the hell? Am I zoomed in when I do this? I'm definitely zooming in somehow, and then I just gotta zoom in like with the scroll wheel and zoom out to get back out. I don't know why that's happening. It's never happened before. Vangscore as well as Yol gonna find Mania doing very aggressive jungling. The disruption not in range, and there's actually no points in the demonic purge either from Vangscore. Still level 5 in that Shadow Demon. Despite his effective rotation, getting 2 kills, getting 2 assists. Instead they're going to find Miracle. He's going to land a burst strike on a solo, slow down his demise possibly. Dread's going to come straight in, silence onto the Sand King as well. And that's going to be Puck picking up the kill on the Sand King, alone away from any sort of support. And Solo going to drop all of his stat items. Going to, wait, is this magic wand? Yeah, okay. Dropping the stat items to get a little bit more mileage out of his bottle. Then he will follow the rest of his team into a tier 1 mid push. Yol has not picked up any points in Diabolic Edict, level 6 in Listeract. Really, the levels from Rox.Kis' supports aren't really there despite their effective rotation. They are waiting a lot of the time on the sidelines in order to get that effective killing, those effective positions to actually get kills, and that means their experience is definitely suffering. But hey, if you keep the enemy team down, you keep on killing them off, then the gold alone is going to be good enough to carry you through this game. And Shadow Demon, sitting at a pretty decent score, would look towards level 6, and then when that happens, then Mania has got to watch himself, because he's going to try to surge himself and run away. I mean, that's how Darkseer escapes. But as soon as you see that surge, you pop off that demonic purge, which does have a pretty large level as a range level as well. And then Mania is pretty much dead, no matter how tanky he is. He's going to drop to a gyrocopter and a lifestealer, combined with the Shadow Demon, who's probably going to land the Soul Catcher right after. So Shadow Demon's still not at that mark yet, but you know, at the same time, actually Sand King and Skywrath have hit those levels. So we are going to see some pretty heavy burst damage from the Skywrath. We are going to see the potential for an epicenter on the Sand King, but you know, a lot of things have to go right for the Sand King if he wants to land an epicenter. He has to wait for the Puck to use his Dream Coil as well as Waning Rift. If he goes in before that, gonna be silenced, gonna be mini stun, and the kill is no good. You have to wait for the disruption to be used on someone else, or at least be behind someone who's more valuable for the Rox.Kis side to disrupt. Wait for the Split Earth to come out as well, and well, also he has to make sure that this doesn't happen. He's going to Burrow Strike out, but he's going to take an Orb as well as the Waning Rift straight to the face, and Miracle's going to get bolted down by Yol's Lightning. Sand King dying yet again. Only his second death, but it feels like he's been dying so much more just because he hasn't had that much of an active presence around the map. Really, the Sand King has gotten like, what, one aggressive Burrow Strike, 2 aggressive Burrow Strikes. As a Sand King, you kind of want to be a lot more aggressive. You want to be setting up those kills with that Burrow Strike. It's a very powerful spell, especially now that it is level 4. But if you can't actually set kills up, then what's the point? Now Dread in a little bit of trouble. Concussive Shot actually used and missed, but it looks like it might not even matter. There's the Flare of Doom. Dread is actually going to jump into a creep, pop his way out, but he doesn't really have any way of surviving this one. It's going to be Weaver picking up the kill. That took 4 heroes from AL. I mean, Dread is definitely a very dead hero, but he has his Armlet, he has his Infest, he's level 9. He's doing extraordinarily well. And AL, they need to get these kills, but they need to get these kills a lot more. And they invested a lot in order to get that kill. Skywrath Mage, with the huge mana cost that he has on that Mystic Flare, combined with the fact that he is a support hero, so he won't have any ways of boosting his mana pool, means that he will have to pretty much travel back to the fountain every single time he wants to get that Flare down. Miracle on the run, he will be able to survive. Solo going to blink forward with the right clicks. He might have enough. With 2 points in the poison, it will be enough. Miracle going to drop, but here comes Rise, going to land the Concussive Shot onto Solo. Vacuum going to pull him back as well. He does have a phase shift, but that's pretty much it. Miggle going to teleport himself in as well. Orb gonna fly, and Puck gonna get himself a little bit further away from Mania as well as Rise. He's on the run, but he's gonna run straight into Unicorn. That's actually gonna work out better for AL. This means they get another kill on the Weaver. So Unicorn getting fed a little bit of delicious Puck meat right on a silver platter. He's gonna go for, well, I don't know why he has a Ring of Regen. I mean, Weaver's range, so he won't be going for Vlad's, and he's a carry, so it's not going to be Force Staff. I don't know. Maybe he was Maybe he had Tranquil Boots. So he's going to go straight for the drums. So Weaver going to look to up his early mid-game power. Still don't know what the Ring of Regen was for. I'm pretty sure it was Tranquils. Mania gonna win the race to the invisibility rune. Teleportation coming in from Miguel. Gonna drop his ultimate. Actually, he dropped it straight onto the Leshrac. That's not what you want to do as an Ancient Prophet. But oh, you shall not pass, y'all. Drian's coming in, and now Dread gonna take a concussive shot. He's looking for blood. He's going to find Mania, who already got Demonic Purge. The flare is gonna drop onto Dread, but he's gonna take that one relatively easily. He's gonna rage up, and you're now gonna try to go for the kill onto Mania. Shoutyman is gonna pick that one up. Unicorn gonna time lapse himself out, but it is going to break the coil. He will have a Shikuchi, however, and there's no more stuns from the Rox.Kis side. He's gonna slip away. It is in the end a 1-for-1 trade. Darkseer dying yet again in this fight. 12-4 AL hurting as they lose another tower to a denial. Really, Rox.Kis building themselves up a pretty substantial lead, slowly and steady. I mean, it's not a huge explosive lead thus far. The farm from AL trying to keep themselves in with this game with the Hannah Midas on the Nature Prophet. They're just constantly bleeding heroes, and I mean, Rox.Kis, they're still getting their farm up, and with another Ancient stack going to be picked up by Biz. I got zoomed in again. He's going to try to accelerate his farm even more. Helm of Iron Will, it's probably going to be some lifesteal coming up from this gyrocopter, and with Phase Yasha as well as the drum, this gyrocopter is going to be flying places. He has 484 movement speed with everything popped. I guess not everything. He still have the drum charge, which he could pop to get himself a little bit more movement speed, but this gyrocopter going to be super mobile, so he could really chase down a Weaver. If he somehow keeps sight of the Weaver, then he could just chase him down. We'll be a little bit slower than the maxed out speed of the Shikuchi, but still, the gyrocopter will be able to make these chases happen. You know, chase down whoever surged. Chase down a burrow striking Sand King who's going to try to get away through those means. Biz is going to be able to stick on his target. Damage not going to be too high just yet, but looks like it won't even matter. Miracle has a missile flying out towards him and already took the brunt of the puck combo. Going to try to go into the invisibility form. They could drop a call down if they want to. And it's going to be kaboom. Actually going to dodge it with the burrow strike, but he is going to die regardless. Miguel now invisible due to the Shadow Blade. Do they have any true sight? They seem to know where he is, although not for sure. Top lane in the meantime, it's going to be Mania as well as Unicorn. Going to try to get a kill onto Yo. They will make that one happen. However, the Shadow Poison going to bring down the Darkseer now. Bankscore on the run. Unicorn did not see him move south, so Bankscore is going to find a little nook in the trees and find himself enough time to teleport away. So Rox.Kis do lose Yol on the top lane. But, you know, they gained the Sand King, they gained the Darkseer in exchange for that. Actually, Darkseer died on this top lane as well. I guess that was I just saw that. It was Shadow Poison taking him off. So, yeah, Rox.Kis getting constantly better and better trades. And these are trades that are really shutting down the heroes from AL that need to have a bigger impact right now. Like, you need a Blink Dagger on the Sand King if you want to land a Burrow Strike, Epicenter combination. You need the Darkseer to get his mech up. It's been 19 minutes in, and like usually you would expect the Darkseer to have a mech by now, but just constantly dying, not finding enough farm. Wherever he goes to try to farm, he has Leshrac and Shadow Demon right on top of him. He cannot find this farm, and really, AL, they need a mech so desperately. Like, to counter off the Dream Coil damage, it's actually Puck picking up the mech on the Rox.Kis side, but that is a mech nonetheless. He needs to counter off the 4 points in Lightning. Got to counter off some of that call down, Flat Cannon, Rocket Barrage damage as well. And so far, that looks like it's not going to happen for quite a while. I mean, to AL's credit, they do have Animita Shadow Bladed up Nature Prophet, who can do some pretty decent work, split pushing and stuff like that, or even sniping off the Courier. Oh, he knows where the Courier is. Hit it once, hit it twice. There's a dead Courier, but he's going to trade that Courier for a tier 2 tower. And this is a tower that AL cannot contest, cannot even dream of denying, because Solo, with the Blink Dagger and Fest Bomb inside of him, can go to town whoever decides to poke their face out. Looks like Gyro actually going to go for a Sanjin Yasha, it looks like. Could be a BKB, which will help him pop through that Ancient Seal Silence. If he gets silenced, then no big deal. Pop the BKB. No Epicenter damage, no Mystic Flare damage. So I think it probably will be a BKB. Biz is not Loda, so you might not even go for that Sanjin Yasha. Zoomed in again. What the hell is going on? But yeah, Biz is going to clear off this Ancient stack with the Life Seal, keeping him pretty much at full HP through the entirety of this. Going to find so much farm by doing so. Might hit the level 15 mark, but it's definitely going to give him enough for his Mithril Hammer if he does decide to go for that BKB route. Dread in the meantime is looking to go for an Orchid, so he's going for the correct item choices. AL, they're so very reliant on their spellcasting. The only one who could really sit there and right-click things is the Weaver, but even then, Weaver is not the kind of hero like the Gyrocopter who could just literally not move places and just sit there with the Flat Cannon on and, you know, just you press the flag cannon button, you move your guy, and then you go get a drink of water or something because your hero would do all the work. You need to be able to cast Shikuchi. You need to be able to cast a time lapse if things get hairy. You need to play that kind of duck and weave, kind of float like a butterfly, sting like a bee kind of play that the weavers usually do like to do. And an Orchid means that you're not going to be able to cast that Shikuchi, and you're not going to be able to cast that time lapse. So even if you don't get hit by a silence, you won't be able to cast anything, and at the end of the day, you're a very, very soft agility hero, so you're going to die anyway. So I do like this choice from the Lifestealer. He's well on his way towards it as well. Has 376 gold per minute. Kind of pales in comparison to his teammates, almost 500 gold per minute now. There we go, 500 gold per minute. He's going to go for the BKB. It will be up very, very shortly as well. Rox.Kis playing a very patient game. And when you're getting better and better trades every time you fight, you really shouldn't be in any rush to take the towers and everything like that. That would give an opportunity for the team fight of AL to come into play. But you do have Sand King waiting in the wings with level 4 burst strike, a level 1 epicenter as well. If he goes in on this, he's going to die. Instead, it's going to be split push. AL might take down one tower in exchange for their own. They definitely lose their own. Mania has picked up the mech and Yul coming in with Split Earth. Lightning bolts to fly as well. Tower is in deny range. It's going to be the top lane that AL actually manages to pick up. Yul is going to get this tower denied. Just kill the creep wave, kill the creep wave, kill this tree especially. And that is tower number 3 that Rox.Kis denies. And, well, Miguel looking for Unicorn, going to get sprouted up. Silence onto the Weaver. He can time-lapse now, and he will do so. Solo is going to try to go for Miguel as Vangscore comes in to support Miguel. Is invisible, but he will go down. Unicorn going to get disrupted before he can teleport out. Calldown's going to fall, and Unicorn going to try to run out of here, but the magical burst is more than enough to bring down that Weaver. So AL, they lose their tier 2 tower. They gain a tier 2 tower. They also, I guess, kind of gain a half tier 2 tower, having that denied. But they lose 2 again. And Rox.Kis, as I said before, if you keep on getting these great trades, you're in no rush. You're getting so much gold on all your heroes that really you don't have to give AL a chance to get a fight on their own terms. If you constantly are getting these fights, then you sit back and you really wait for AL to try to make something happen, because at the end of the day, Rox.Kis, they do have a better late game move. You do see a little bit of an aggressive play going on to Yul. They should have enough to bring him down. They will do so, but Puck is in here as well. Solo does not have any mana, however. The Vacuum is going to bring Dread as well as Solo back in, but they've already taken down the Skywrath Mage as well as, forcing a couple heroes back out. Lifestealer, the Shrek as well dying in the end there. But in the end, the Skywrath Mage still a very, very soft hero. Only has a Bracer, Magic Wand as well. Meantime, we have a gem being picked up by the Shadow Demon, so the Weaver's not going to be able to rely on his invisibility for too much longer. The top lane going to be pushed once again. Rox.Kis finding kill after kill after kill. And you can see, I mean, AL, they barely managed to bring down that Leshrac with the drum, with the, not drum, with an urn, with the Bracer. He's rather tanky, this guy. Definitely not the huge softy that you would expect from a Leshrac. He's getting a lot around the map, despite his 4 deaths. He's getting, at least a little bit more than you would normally expect from Leshracs. He does have support right behind him. Solo gonna drop a Dream Coil onto Mania. Do they have a Split Earth right on the edge again? No, it's gonna happen once, not twice. Everyone from AL manages to get out, but the gold lead and the experience lead, I mean, Rox.Kis, they're slowly starting to pull ahead. I mean, every single fight, they're pulling further and further ahead. Miguel's still getting farmed, but he hasn't picked up anything since he last bought an item, which was the Shadow Blade. Actually, I think he picked up the Power Treads, but that's not really going to be a huge, high-impact item. And in the meantime, we have Solo. Boots a Travel Mech. I don't know what hero you think you are, Solo, but this is definitely not the standard Puck build that we see. Boots of Travel is, I definitely say an underrated item, or at least an item that is not picked up all too often. We'll save a lot on the teleportation scrolls that way. And if he dies, he could just buy back and teleport straight into that fight. And he also has a gem? No, it's the same gem, okay. But he does have the Lifestealer inside of him, playing a little bit of a bait, but AL, they're not going to go for him. They definitely can go for him now with the Blink Burst Strike from the Sand King. Rise following up with the Ancient Seal as well. Solo actually going to deliver himself straight into a little bit of a danger zone, but once again, it's all a bait because he does have the Lifestealer inside of him. There's the Burst Strike in, but here's the pain that's going to come from the Dread. Solo going to pop the mech and be very, very much so alive. Dread going to beat down the Sand King. Rise going to have no part in this. Dread without a Basher going to let that Skywrath Mage get away. But AL, they fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Rox.Kis, that went pretty much as perfectly as they could possibly imagine. Puck, with that mechanism, will be able to heal himself even through the silence of the Skywrath Mage. And well, with Dread as well as Solo both sitting like pretty much like this on top of each other, that means the damage from Mystic Flare got divided amongst two heroes, which means that in the end it's only a 300 damage nuke, which definitely isn't as impressive as a 600 damage nuke. It's not exactly Laguna Blade. With that, Rox.Kis, they know that there's no potential for a Blink, Burrow Strike, Epicenter. They're going to go straight for a Roshan, double damage rune on Biz helping out as well. And who's going to pick it up? It's going to be the Gyrocopter. So yeah, Gyro is looking pretty stacked right now. Almost at 600 gold per minute, 3,200 gold in the bank. Could look for a Manta Style, could look for his Satanic, but either way, this guy is going to be an absolute beast moving forward into this game. And what do AL actually have to counter that? They have pretty much nothing. They have level 2 wall, which will definitely help, I guess. They will have a sheep stick eventually on the Nature's Prophet, but really their right-click damage isn't that high. They're still very reliant on the magical damage, but so far AL, they've been caught in so many ways, and they just haven't been able to find the chance to actually get close enough and deal the magic damage that they need to deal. They have a lot of split push, they have a lot of control, but at the end of the day, Rox.Kis, at a certain point, it's not going to matter how much split pushing you have. If you have a Gyrocopter with, you know, a 6-slotted Gyrocopter bearing down your base, he's just going to right-click his way in, and you have to fall back and defend that. And with the Black King bar not even being used on Biz quite yet, he's still feeling very comfortable in this game. Solo as well as Dread going to try to go for Miggle. Do they have True Sight? Yo, you bet they do. But here's a Burrow Strike. Epicenter going to catch on to Mystic Flare. Going to burn down Solo immediately. Dread still on the run, on the chase for Miggle. Isn't going to find that with the seal on Dread. He's silenced, taking so much magical damage. Going to try to armlet toggle his way out. Solo is actually bought back and returned to this fight. Got a blink on out of there. And it's going to be two heroes picked off for AL, but still they have to worry about this. Teleportation's coming in. It's going to be Mania already taking a split Earth Curse as well. Mania taking so much damage. Burst Strike out to Yul, but he's going to take so much damage in exchange for that. Yul taking everything, and really Biz just sitting there doing the damage. And you got to be kidding me. Leshrac, why? Alright, so let's take a look at how this fight's going to go. I don't know if there's any bullets flying towards Mania. The BKB has been popped on the Gyrocopter. You'd expect right after this pause to end, he drops the call down pretty much right here. Try to get Miggle on the edge, but you know, try to catch Rise. It'll definitely catch Rise, as well as the incoming Weaver. And Biz does have a double life. Leshrac should drop relatively easily. So it looks like Sand King gonna try to get back to the base. Has one bullet flying after him, will not be enough to kill him off. Bank score on the bottom edge, looking for a disruption. Actually, if he goes for a disruption onto Darkseer, it still will mean his death. He has 2 points in Shadow Poison, but I think it should be on Skywrath. And that means when the disruption happens, that means it'll buy just enough time for the call down to come down. I think the first missile might miss, but the second one will definitely hit. Rise might find a little more time to stay alive in this fight, but it doesn't really look that great for the AL side. Just having Mania going to drop in an instant. Essentially, it is a 3v3 with, I guess 3v2, but Biz counts for a couple heroes, and Unicorn's going to come in with the Manta Style. And, well, I guess Rox.Kis don't have any True Sight, and Boots of Travel aren't up. So actually, AL, they can take this fight. That is, if Rise gets his silence onto the Shadow Demon and tries to burst him down. Really, there's no way for them to deal with Biz, however. They could try to take down everyone else, or just focus their right clicks on this guy, but he has the Helm of the Dominator. Right clicks aren't going to get you that far. So let's see what is going to pan out, as well. Darkseer dead in an instant, as is Yul. So kind of to be expected. Looks like everyone else is just going to fall right on back. So, yeah, 1 for 1 in the end. Not too much of a surprise there. Call down was actually focused on the Nature's Prophet, but you know, that's pretty much it. Without the Puck there to really set up a big team fight. Did Puck take another tower deny? I just saw this tower explode, but I'm pretty sure that's not correct. Either way, AL, they do successfully defend their tier 3s after taking a pretty decent trade on the top lane, but you gotta beg the question, is that enough? Because they're still very, very far behind in this game, and they don't have enough late game to really stay this far behind and still be okay with their position. I'd say if Unicorn was a Phantom Lancer with this amount of farm, then I'd say, okay, you know what, you're a little bit behind, but you have a Phantom Lancer, so you should be able to recover. Phantom Lancer plus Nature's Prophet, that's enough split push and enough damage to actually make yourself a threat in the late game. But a Weaver is not the same type of hero. He will do a lot of damage if you get those items up, but rushing straight for the Manta Style is not the kind of damage that Unicorn really needs right now. If he gets a Desolator, he might be able to burn through Biz's HP pool, but still, this is a Gyrocopter with Lifesteal, with a Manta Style as well. So Biz is going to be incredibly hard to bring down, AoE or not. I mean, Unicorn is going to need a little bit more. And he's going to get initiated upon straight away. Going to break the Dream Coil, but there's a huge back wall. Where's the Epicenter? Not being casted by Miracle. There's actually no time for it. Mystic Flare going to whiff onto everything. Biz is sitting in the middle of everything with the BKB up. Rocket Flare, Flat Cannon hitting onto absolutely everyone. And surprisingly enough, no one has died. I don't know how the hell that manages to happen. Disruption onto what looks like the, Dread. He's going to be able to survive that. And Sand King, once again, diving straight to his doom. Biz very much so alive. Out of mana, has a missile flying after the Nature's Prophet, but another back into a wall. They're getting a lot of mileage out of this wall, but so far they cannot bring down anyone from Rox.Kis. Biz wants to lose his Aegis right about now. It's going to time out in 2 minutes. Rox.Kis, they have a huge team fight with only 1 kill, but I guess it kind of stays consistent with the entirety of this game thus far. Rox.Kis getting a slightly better trade. They didn't lose anything, I don't believe. I mean, yes, they burned some of their ultimates, but that's pretty much it. They picked off the Sand King, and they drew out the wall from the Darkseer, which isn't a huge deal. It will be up by the time the next fight comes around, but Rox.Kis getting a slightly better trade once again over AAL, who, I mean, it was a valiant in defense attempt, but they simply did not have enough damage to seal the deal. Unicorn was jumped immediately, and, well, really, you need a little bit... What? Okay. Well... A Nature's Prophet picking off the Leshrac by himself. Teleportation Gang's OP. AL finding a good pick off there with the Nature's Prophet, who's doing pretty well in the gold per minute chart. Will find enough gold for his sheep stick right now. But still begs the question, can AL recover from this one? They need a lot more farm on the Weaver. They needed an Epicenter from Miracle. I feel like if that came through, then that would have been at least the Aegis burned. At the very least. It probably would have been the death of 1 or 2 extra heroes as well. The Epicenter was not on cooldown. Miracle dove right in for a huge Burrow Strike, but it's only a Burrow Strike in the end. You need a little bit more, and well, Rox.Kis, they're not done yet. They have all their ultimates back up. Their ultimates really are on a short cooldown, and they have no, they don't have a buyback on the puck, so it'll only be a 1 life puck, but they do have the Aegis, and they know it's going to run out in another minute, so Biz going to play a little bit suicidally, dive straight to the front lines. I've seen this episode before. Mania is going to get forced out the way, but here comes the Epicenter. Going to go straight for Dread. Is there enough damage to kill its Lifestealer? There is with the Mystic Flare. Biz popping off the BKB. Doesn't have enough damage to actually kill anyone off, however. Rox.Kis, they might have to back on out of here. Biz wants to burn this Aegis. Will get vacuumed back into another wall. 2-man Burrow Strike. Yo and Biz both going to drop. Aegis is there, however, so the Gyrocopter is going to come straight back. Is there enough support? Solo very, very weak. Going to get silenced. Mystic Flare flying after him as well. He's going to BKB and get his way out of there. Burst Strike onto Biz, preventing his escape. Sprout as well. He's going to go down. AL defend very valiantly, and they will hold on to their tier 3 tower, although I think it's probably better if you deny this, and then they will have the Raxes still safe and sound. AL making their way through that fight with the silence on the Lifestealer, immediately bursting him down through the extra damage of the Ancient Steel, dropping a Mystic Flare on him, dropping an Epicenter on him. You may argue that that's a little bit of overkill, but hey, that's a very dead Lifestealer, and that means there's no Orchid, that means there's no open wounds to deal with. You can just follow straight on through, take down the Aegis of the Gyrocopter, kill him off for the second time, and AL still showing a couple signs of life. The thing is, though, they could do that as many times as they want, but in the end, they're going to be restricted by a cooldown of 120 seconds. Or I guess, yeah, 120 seconds. It's not going to be level 16 for a while. So, every 2 minutes, AL can, in theory, get that fight. The problem is that Rox.Kis, they don't rely on that. 85 seconds is the cooldown for the Dream Coil. The Gyrocopter's ultimate is like, what, yeah, really short, 45 seconds, and that's pretty much all the ults that they need to fight. Leshrac is like 0 cooldown, and Shadow Demon is like 0 cooldown. Actually, 50 seconds, that's a lot. It's longer than the cooldown. Did not realize that. But AL, they're time restricted. Like, they will be able to make those fights happen every once in a while, whereas Rox.Kis can pretty much bring the heat whenever they feel like it. Because their ultimates, the Dream Coil is definitely important, but he's been dropping Dream Coils on 1 target every single time, and he's been, Solo that is, he's been completely okay with doing that as well. So, I mean, Rox.Kis, they're fighting without full use of their team fight, we should say. I mean, Solo's definitely making a lot of magical damage happen. Just throwing that orb in, throwing the silence as well. Oh, perfect dodge on the Burrow Strike. Solo, beautiful play. Gonna pop the BKB and we'll be just fine. BKB, though, that was the 8-second charge. Yeah, it was the 9-second charge, so yeah, burning a pretty high priority charge. They're gonna catch out the Nature's Prophet. Man, that's just Bank scoring the Shrek. You cannot escape these two. These supports, these roaming supports. 35 minutes into the game, still making things happen. Nature's Prophet. Oh, it was without buyback. Tower's gonna get denied, but that's gonna be completely okay for the Rox.Kis side. They're already ahead on gold. They're gonna go straight for the melee Raxes. Melee gonna go down range shortly to follow. That's going to be that. AL lose Raxes, and they do have an epicenter to defend, but without the Nature's Prophet, they really need that Wrath of Nature. They really need that extra damage. They need that Hex, and it's not there. It's going to be Rox.Kis taking first Raxes in the TI3 qualifiers. And AL, they're looking like to be not in great shape. Crit on the Weaver is definitely going to help out. You really need this extra burst damage from the Weaver. Not exactly the Desolator. I feel like Desolator is a little bit better on the Weaver. I don't know. I like it better. It's definitely more expensive, I guess, so it should be better. But either way, it will be a little bit more damage from the Weaver. Desperately needed as well. But yeah, Rox.Kis, they're going to push the bottom lane. They're going to push the top lane. Slow siege up everything. With the BKB on the puck, it's pretty much impossible to kill him off. He'll pop the BKB, he'll pop the phase shift, and then blink away. I mean, one way or another, he's going to get out of there. Especially with the regeneration rune. He's going to be spotted. He's going to spot out Miggle. But I don't think he's going to feel confident enough to go for him, at least without a lot of support. Miracle, as well as the Skywrath are both here. Blink to Burrow Strike. Where's the seal? Where's the seal? Gonna get it onto Solo, but the BKB says, no, I don't care about that. Teleportation out. The right-click damage will not be enough, should not be enough, not going to be enough. Meantime, top lane, the rest of Rox.Kis. I mean, at the end of the day, Puck was just bait once again. And Mania running to the front lines, but gotta wait for a good opportunity to get a vac into a wall. So far, Mania's walls have been pretty damn good, getting a lot of mileage out of them. But that's not going to win you the game single-handedly. You need some more follow-up. And this might be the follow-up. Bankscore going to drop everything he has onto Unicorn. Burst Strike is going to hit him, and he's going to drop it in an instant. Unicorn picking that one up. Mania being force tapped out, but Biz right on top of him with the race card. Dream Coil going to completely whiff on Solo. Man, Dream Coils really haven't been that impressive. Gotta say, landing onto one, I mean, you kind of understand when you're diving into the mid lane, you could be okay with hitting him just onto one hero, but really, Puck, come on. Gotta get multiple heroes with that. Or at least not miss all your heroes. And Miggle's gonna teleport out to the bottom lane, split push galore. Rox.Kis lose one. AL finally getting a decent trade. Or I guess that wasn't even a trade, they get a decent pickup. They're going to be okay with just sitting back, farming, getting Unicorn just a little bit more. Biz still without a huge amount of damage. Well, he has 5.9k, so any lack of damage that he has right now is going to be mitigated very, very quickly by a pickup of what is probably going to be an MKB, I want to say. But 6,000 gold, Gyrocopter, the world is his oyster. He can go for whatever he wants. Really, he needs a little more damage, though. Black Cannon not being as devastating as I would really predict it would be. Because a lot of the items he's gone for are more utility defensive items. Manta Style will help you do a lot of damage, but that's not really your big damage item. It's not really a lot of plus damage, not a lot of plus agility. It's plus 26 damage in the end. That's pretty much nothing. Illusions definitely help, but you know, with these BKB Helm of the Dominator, it's really not that much. He's gonna buy a Butterfly. There you go. There's a damage item. That's plus 60 right there. In the end, you know, plus 30 agility, plus 30 damage. Gyrocopter could actually buy out for it. Gonna hold on to his gold at least for now. Possibly scared of a team wipe, and that definitely could happen from the AL side. They're just trying to position themselves over Roshan. What is flying out to? It's a smoke. Okay. And the pig has a name that I cannot read. But they're looking to smoke up, clear off this wave and smoke. Or maybe not. Well, they have the smoke anyway, so possibly smoke their way towards Roshan. Anyway, take a look at another look at the gold graph. Not surprisingly, Rox is very firmly ahead. Experience, not so much. I'd expect a little bit more from the experience from them. But I guess, you know, 7 kills is not too huge at this point in the game. But they're going to look to make it a little bit more. We do have a Life Sealer Bomb inside the puck. Going to blink straight in with the BKB, be completely safe from the AL side. They're going to run into Miracle and Rise. Oh, you don't want to be here. Blink forward, burrow strike out. Solo looking for a dream coil. Gonna latch onto the Skywrath Mage. Orb gonna fly. Is he gonna jaunt to it? He will not. He's gonna walk straight up and infest him down. Yeah, why worry with the flashy antics of the jaunt when you could just walk? Skywrath Mage down. Ancient Seal out of the fight. Mystic Flare out of the fight for another 35 seconds. And 35 seconds going to be more than enough time for Biz as well as Dredge to do the damage and kill off this Roshan. Do have AL moving around. Could get a vacuum, possibly pull someone out. I mean, this Roshan pit is the ideal place for AL to fight right now. They will face up against Call Down as well as Dream Coil. But Epicenter, Swarm, as well as that wall can make it really huge for them. They're going to catch out Bankscore first and foremost. Miracle's going to jump in with Epicenter, but he's going to do no damage because BKBs are up on absolutely everyone. Unicorn taking a lot of damage. We did time lapse all of that out. Miggle on the run with Shadow Blade should be just fine. Mania going to get slowed down. He's going to pop as well. And I think that actually should be it. AL burning everything they have for absolutely nothing. Epicenter, I mean, that's pretty much an ideal Epicenter right there. It hit everything. He was in a position so that the damage would hit everything. But BKB on Puck, Magic Immunity on the Lifestealer, BKB on Gyrocopter means no damage was dealt by the Sand King. 0 damage was dealt. And usually I say like 0 damage in a figurative sense, like, oh, that did 0 damage. But no, I'm pretty sure the amount of damage Sand King did there was 0. Because BKBs are pretty good against Epicenter, and that's going to mean that Rox.Kis get away with the Aegis. Gyrocopter now feeling comfortable enough to buy up that butterfly. And now I think it's just a matter of time before Rox.Kis, put the final nail in the AL coffin. Playing such a slow and steady, patient game. But now Gyrocopter definitely has the plus damage with the attack speed as well coming through. That's the damage you want to see from Gyrocopter. That's a little bit more like it. They're going to catch out Solo on this bottom lane. BKB might pop, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Actually, Mech BKB going to phase shift a little bit out of there. Blink Dagger out. And does he have a TP? Not for another 5 seconds. He's caught, though. Orb is going to fly. No, it's not. Sand King not letting him get that one out. But Puck is going to die alone on that bottom lane. But he has buyback, I think. Oh, he's 30 gold, actually. So 30 seconds he'll be able to buy back and jump up to this top lane where Rox.Kis are going to force AL to come back. AL, they're not going to win a base race with Rox.Kis. This Gyrocopter is not going to let that happen. So, push in the top lane and see if AL can defend this. They'll have their Epicenter, they'll have their wall, they'll have everything. They're going to be facing up against 2 Gyrocopters, as well as a pretty stacked Lifestealer finishing up his AC. There's a Blink Burrow Strike onto Biz, but the wall going to completely miss. Mostly a zoning tool at this point. Unicorn going to get Silence, going to split out of that, so he's not going to worry about that too much. Biz going to get hexed up. He's fought the BKB, but he might wait till he dies first and foremost. He's going to sit there, right-click away onto everything. Miracle going to charge up the Epicenter, going to blink straight in. Where did he go? He went into nowhere. 0 damage being done by the Sand King once again because of those BKBs. Biz now sitting in the middle of everything, does have the flat cannon up once again, gonna get disrupted by his friendly, and that's just gonna mean more damage going to everyone. Miracle gonna get ground down. 2 supports from AL down in an instant. Bankscore gonna pick up his Darkseer with Shadow Poison or something. And that's top lane being completely carved out of Raxes and Rox.Kis. They're looking to take this game. I think this should be it. With the Sand King, Skywrath both on the sidelines, Rox.Kis can easily move down and take this tier 3 tower. With Biz to tank up, he could lifesteal on the creeps as well, but Solo, he wants more, gonna go for Mania, gonna get hexed up in return, but he's so tanky that Weaver did pretty much nothing to him. And now Mania stunned up, Flare, the Rocket Barrage is happening, Black Cannon flying, and everyone's dying. Mania gonna call GG. That's gonna be it, 43 minutes into the game, and Rox.Kis are gonna take game number 1 in this best of 3 series between Rox.Kis and Absolute Legends from the TI3 qualifiers. Winner of all of these the winner of all these qualifying games does mean that they are going to get a trip to Seattle to complete in the International 3. So a lot is on the line, guys. In AL, they're already down 1 game, so we'll see if they can rally. Gonna speed through the rest of this game, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. If you did not, then feedback always welcome. But moving on to game number 2, guys. GG.